This is a seriously weird looking knife, but I love it. Hello everybody. Today I have another tested gear review for you. This time it is the Cold Steel Canadian belt knife. It's a strange looking little hunting knife that has become one of my absolute favorites. First though, let me give you a few specs. The steel is German 4116 and the blade is just shy of 4 inches or about 100 millimeters. It feels like it has a very slight hollow grind on the blade, and the handle is polypropylene and is about 4.5 inches or 115 millimeters. It's the sort of handle that is very good for use outdoors, maybe in wet conditions where you wouldn't want to expose a nice maybe stacked leather handle or a fine wood handle. The sheath is some sort of polymer and has a very positive click when the knife is inserted properly. I've done a magnet test on this handle, and the tang only seems to go about a third or half of the way into the handle, but I've used this knife for over 2 years now, and I am extremely impressed so far. As of December of 2020, you can easily find this knife for less than $15. In fact, they're currently listed on Cold Steel's site for only $12. The original shape of the knife was developed by D.H. Russell and the Groman Knife Company, and I'll include a link to that here in the description below. I've never used one of the actual Groman knives, but it's definitely on my list of knives to purchase. I can only imagine that if the $12 version is this nice, that the original would be an absolute beauty. I'd love to do a head-to-head comparison if I can ever get my hands on one. Now, let's be honest. This is a strangely unconventional shape for a hunting knife. But the design of this knife was made with function, not form, in mind. In a forward grip, the handle naturally wants to sit where my first two fingers are in front of this point here, and my second two fingers are below. That causes the user to have a very positive grip on the knife, and the jimping on the spine gives a nice non-slip place for your thumb. This grip works very well for general cutting, and in the case of food prep, the angle of the blade and the handle does a great job of keeping your fingers up off the cutting surface, which is common for a lot of kitchen knives, but uncommon for a lot of outdoor type knives. If I choke up on the knife some, it enables a pinch grip here on the blade. This enables the knife to be very useful for tasks like skinning game. Remember, this is a hunting knife. The curve of the blade combined with the angle that it extends from the handle work together in a way that helps prevent cutting through the hide of the animal. But the reverse forward grip is where this knife really impresses me. The leaf-shaped blade enables the knife to slide very easily under the skin of an animal to cut from the inside out. This helps tremendously in reducing fur from ending up on the meat. It also works very well when dressing out the animal to keep from puncturing any internal parts that you would rather not puncture. So, pros and cons. Pros. It's a $12 knife and it still performs remarkably well. Of course, D.H. Russell and Gromans did all the heavy lifting on this. Cold Steel are just reproducing an idea that works, but it works very, very well. The design seems very durable, even though the tang is only partway through the handle. This is not a heavy bushcrafting knife, and it should not be treated as such. It's made for processing of animals into food, and for that it works very well. Cons are nothing major, if anything at all. 4116 steel takes a wicked sharp edge, but it does dull relatively quickly. However, it's also very easy to resharpen. In my experience, a sharpening can last for the duration of the dressing, skinning, and quartering of deer-sized game, which is plenty of time for me, and it's a $12 knife. The belt clip on this belt knife seems a little thin, but I generally carry my knife in my pack, so that's not a problem for me, and it's a $12 knife. All in all, I highly recommend this knife if you are a person who does any kind of hunting. In fact, I think I will pick myself up a couple of more just in case Cold Steel ever decides to discontinue it. So that's it. My review of the Cold Steel Canadian belt knife. Thanks for watching.